Okay. Hi, thank you everyone for watching our Ask an Owl webinar. This is a recording so that if you have any questions about Ask an Owl, hopefully I can answer them for you. And so this is just our general flyer talking about what Ask an Owl is. This is what we've shared with students as well as with alums. And it really just kind of explains how it's connecting people together to offer advice, make connections, all through this one website. So we're going to go through the website together. And then I'll go over what this will look like in your inbox, as well as some frequently asked questions, so that you kind of have a better idea of how this is all going to work. So, going into the Ask an Owl website, you can see here the same tagline that was mentioned before, 60,000 plus Rice alums. So it's connected to everyone in our alumni database, and all of it's done through this one button, Ask a Question. The website has a lot of other helpful features. So they have a video here that kind of talks about what I'm going to talk about, but very brief 1 minute overview in case you want to watch it and kind of see another overview. There's some sample questions that are written from a student perspective as well as from an alum perspective, more information about how this works in general, and then our frequently asked questions as well, which, like I said, I'll go over the ones that we have received most frequently. So, going into Ask a Question, this is what the website looks like. Everything is done through this website. So, nothing needs to be logged in, nothing needs like another password, another login, another email. You're not making an account. It's all very simple through this website. We have a cheat sheet for tips on how to write a great question. And then we have the information that we actually need. So, we ask you to put your first name, last name, your email address, and then your role. So, like you'd select alumni. And then you can select your school and degree program. So, depending on what you graduated with, as well as your class year, you'd hit next. And then this is what it looks like when asking a question. So, like I mentioned, students can ask questions, alums can ask questions. This will look the same for everyone who's asking a question. If you don't know what you want to say, we have a view examples, kind of AI generated examples button. So there's one of these for each section. So if you just keep clicking on it, it'll give you kind of different options to go through. And so I'm going to click on one for each of these just so that it'll fill it out. We also have, if you click on these little questions here or hover over them, we have some tips for all of the different sections so that it kind of explains, what's going to get you the best response possible. And we really find that the more descriptive you are, the better the match is going to be. So, kind of like what it says here, you want to put everything right. You want to put what program you were in. Are you looking for grad alums, undergrad alums? Are you looking alums with specific types of experiences, specific majors, specific departments? Put all of that into this section here because this is what we're using to make that match. You'll hit next, and then you can choose some different interests. This is just helpful for us to kind of have an additional thing that we're considering. Our affinities is what we're calling them. And then it'll give you the option to review what you put here. So if you notice that something is missing, you can go back and add it. Otherwise, you can hit submit. So it's very easy, super, super easy to use. So what happens after you hit submit or after a student hits submit? Well, what's going to happen next? Let's see. What's going to happen next is this is what that request is going to look like in an inbox. So this is what it would look like in your inbox if a request gets matched to you. And then this is also what it will look like in the inbox of someone that, like let's say if you put in a request, what it'll look like in their inbox. And so you can see here, it'll come from the email askanowl@rice.edu. Very easy to remember. And then it'll have the request that was inputted through the website. And there will be some buttons where either you can respond, you can pass, or you can refer someone. So I'm going to show you what it looks like if you click on those buttons. So if you click on you would like to respond to this request, it'll give you kind of an overview of the request again, and then it'll give you some different options to either share advice, offer a call, or suggest a meeting. Or that little button underneath that where it says, I know someone who can help. That's if you want to refer someone. And so This is what it looks like if you click on share advice versus offer call. Suggest a meeting will just bring up that message box and it'll be blank. But you can see here that it kind of gives you some prompts of what to put. And so that's just kind of what it'll look like depending on what you're selecting and how they look a little bit different depending on what you're choosing in terms of how you want to respond. The other thing that I want to mention is that when you respond, it is not sharing your email address or any of your contact information. So if you want the student to contact you, kind of like what it says in these boxes, then you'll need to provide that information in this message box. So you'd either put in, your email, phone number, whatever your preference is. That's what you'd have to include in the message box because it's not including it automatically. If you choose not to answer it, so if you say, I'm going to pass this time, then these are the different options it'll bring up. So it'll say, not available, not a fit for me, or not a good question. No matter which one you end up selecting, you will be prompted to update your information. So it'll give you the information we have on you, and it'll say, are you still in this geographic region? Or is this still the industry you're in? Is this still the job you're in? And so that's just helping us to make a better match next time because, if, for example, it wasn't a good fit for you, then we want to make sure that the next time we get it better and we're able to use your updated information to make a stronger match. You also can update your employment and geographic information at any time, so you do not have to wait for you to get a request that's not a good fit. You can update it at any time by going to the Rice portal. So we did a Rice portal info session a few weeks ago, and that'll be on the YouTube channel as well. But if you log into the Rice portal and you go to my profile, this like manage my account section, you can update your personal info and your contact info here. So your personal info will have that employment info on the bottom, and then your contact info will have kind of that geographic region that we're using. So if you make changes to your Rice portal, then that'll update it for Ask an Owl as well. If you respond or if you get a response, this is what it looks like for the person receiving the response. You can see here that we are prompting everyone who gets a response to say thank you, and they'll get a reminder message as well. And that's something that we're really trying to push students to do every time that, we've gotten some feedback on Ask an Owl. If it's negative feedback, it's almost always because the student or alum didn't respond. And so we really are trying to push saying thank you, giving a response as much as we can. So some frequently asked questions. A lot of people want to know, how do I opt in to be a responder? And so we don't have opt-ins. This is an opt-out system. So our database, all of the information is kind of fed into the algorithm that Ask an Owl uses. So it's using this AI algorithm to make these matches to the requests that are put in. You can opt out of Ask an Owl at any time, and opting out of Ask an Owl will not opt you out of all of the other Rice communication. You'll have the option to opt out of out of Ask an Owl when you receive a request. Can faculty and staff participate? They can participate as requesters. The only people who are being put into the system to be matched to requests as responders are alumni. Do requests only get sent to one alum? So each requests are sent to 20 to 30 alumni at a time to increase the likelihood of receiving a response. If a request does not receive a response from that first batch, it'll get sent out to another batch and will be prompted as well to try to see if we could make a manual match. And how long does it take to get an answer? Our goal is hopefully within 3 business days, but it can take up to 10 business days or more if it has to go out to a bigger batch of people. This is our website and our email address. So again, all Ask an Owl emails are coming from this email address. So coming from askanowl@rice.edu. And then askanowl.rice.edu is where you would visit if you want to submit a request yourself. We really are excited about it. It's a great way for people to be able to ask career questions, ask for advice without having to find an alum who is the best fit for them. It'll just match it automatically to the alums that the algorithm thinks will be a good fit for the request. So it really takes a lot of that anxiety out of trying to find somebody who can answer your question. If you did want to find a specific person, I'd recommend going back to our Rice portal webinar and watching the piece of it that talks about how to use the alumni directory and how you can use LinkedIn and the alumni directory in conjunction with each other. that's going to be a far better tool for reaching out to specific individuals. But if you have questions about careers, about general advice, then I think Ask an Owl is a great way to kind of send it out into, the system, into our database of alums, and to get an answer back from someone that maybe you wouldn't have known to reach out to. And students are really appreciating that kind of piece of it as well, where, like I said, it's just taking a lot of anxiety out of talking to alums and getting advice from alums. So we're really excited about this. If you have any questions, definitely please feel free to shoot an email to askanowl@rice.edu, and we'll try to get back to you with those answers. But thank you for watching this presentation. And like I said, please let us know if you have any additional questions as well.